So we're gonna see if we can get us a little flick option out up to the basket, try to save our par. And parked it, even hit the pole on the way down. Little tap in. I don't want to be too aggressive so I don't get a bounce back. I want to aim down into the bottom. Make sure that it doesn't fall back out. All right, guys, so we're on our second hole of the round. I ended up starting on the number 10 hole. There were about 12 guys that were lining up to get ready to tee off the first box, and then there were also another 6 guys standing in the field right beside me, right where I was about to tee off on the first hole. So rather than jumping on camera in front of all of them, I went ahead and teed off. Threw 2 off the tee. First one was a little high, pushed up pretty far. Second one was an onyx. I ended up throwing it flat, carried it straight down the middle of the field, and finished up on the left side fairway, slightly in the rough area. And then I was able to chip up and tap in like you saw. That was a 306-foot hole. Here we're on hole 11, like I said, playing to the A pin. We got a 285-foot hole straight out the pipe, and then it kind of diagonally veers off to the left. I'm going with a super overstable Chameleon Explorer. Gonna see if I can put this straight down the middle and then get it to hard fade to the left, maybe give me some skip play up into the green. That's what I'm looking for. I need to count on the skip because of how much I'm trying not to push this deep into the woods. That was a little right, but it gives me right to left play. Hits the ground, pretty much stopped almost dead. Not much skip, but that's okay. So we got us a nice 55-degree day here towards the end of February in Pennsylvania. Really wanted to get out today to get a little more practice in for some tournaments coming up. Just played in a doubles tournament yesterday, 36 straight holes, no lunch break in the middle. So I'm feeling a little tired today, but didn't want to waste a nice day. Here we go for a circle 2. Annie putt, ran the basket, hit the pole. Almost. Not unhappy with that run whatsoever. Just grabbing another putter. We're going to step up, chip this in. A little high, but we got her. So we're here at the Coyote Hills Disc Golf Course. This is my local course. It's a very wooded, technical course. A couple open holes. I am playing the amateur 2019 World's layout. It is my favorite layout. It incorporates a few of the long holes on the course, changes a couple holes from some really tight turning shots to more straight but technical wooded shots, tunnel shots. So what I'm doing here, this hole is 270 feet, 274, goes out towards that pole you can see out there, the very first rusty one, and then it's a real hard left behind that giant pine tree that you see here on the far left closest to me. I'm gonna try to push a force straight out there, see if I can get it to break in towards the green. Low, hoping for a skip. Got the skip. Might be tucked in between or behind, there's these 3 small trees out there I call the 3 sisters or the 3 witches, and I might be tucked in there. All right, so we came up right around circle's edge. Might be about 2 feet in. I'm just gonna try to give it a straight bid right at the basket, see if we can grab this 2. Does look like a left to right wind thanks to that flag that's on top. And 2 high and right, blew right past it. Should be an easy comeback putt. So here we go, straddle putt, almost no wind now all of a sudden. Right in the heart. So here we've got the longest hole on the course. To the pin we're playing to, which is out there where you can see that gentleman. Basket's off to the right of him, just tucked inside the woods. It's a 656-foot shot. Got to land something out in the middle of the grass out there. Off the box here, there's a tailwind, but there's almost always a change in wind direction when you get halfway out there. So I just like to try to throw something that's going to hold fairly stable. I try not to throw something too high so it doesn't get a lot of carry. I kind of go for more of a low throw. My ultimate goal is not to yank over and throw something to the right, because playing up the right side is super dangerous. All right, little camera malfunction with the wind. Let's see if we can get something down the middle. Too low, too low. It's safe, but too low. So this hole is a par 4. Usually I like to bite off a lot more distance off that first shot. You know, being on camera, trying to film around, probably not putting all my focus where it needs to be prioritized, but we'll see if we can't still try to bite off a good chunk here with this second shot, then hopefully have some sort of maybe forehand upshot into the green, see if we can still salvage the 4. All right, since it's uphill, I'm gonna go heat. I'm gonna see if I can't get a hyzer flip. Tailwind, hard tailwind, downward. I'm gonna see if I can't try to push it out maybe towards the left side of that pole out there, see if I can get anything to break right. And we played her very stable. Threw it up the road, it stayed straight. Nothing too crazy, nothing too special, but we're safe. All right, let's see, rangefinder has me at about 155 out. It is still uphill though, so we're gonna play harp, and we're gonna go harp into the general direction of that thick tree that sits right next to that white rock. That white rock is the indicator of where the basket is tucked in at. So we're gonna go harp at that tree with the plan of the overstability of the harp kicking in and drifting me in towards the basket before it gets to that tree. Like a 10-footer here. Save the par. Short drive, okay upshot, good good flick in towards the basket. Hole 14 is from the long position, so a completely different throw on this course. The other short position is way down there on the other side of the green for 13's basket. 422 feet. So what I usually do here is I go for this gap down the left side of this fairway. I try to throw a straight pushing forehand. Let's see if we can get something to go down here. First try here on camera. And I pushed it right to left on accident a little bit, and it pushed down pretty far. We stayed completely clean, which is a blessing, and we're down here pretty good on the fairway. Should be looking at a decent shot down to the basket. Still walking down the fairway. Not sure where the disc was. Everywhere I looked, it was not. But lo and behold, as we descend down this hill, we ended up giving ourselves an eagle look. All right, now we're gonna aim with a little bit of ante just to help make sure that we try to stay on the hill. If I miss, yep. Finished a little long, but that's a tap in. Just wanted to make sure I didn't end up putting myself in a position where I'd roll down the hill. All right, let's tap in and clean up this birdie. Get us 1 under. Right in the dead center. Hole 15, 210 feet. It's uphill and just ever so gently sits on the right side of the fairway. I used to try to dominantly go forehand up this gap because I thought that with the forehand I had more precision to blast that gap, but learned behavior says otherwise. So I had recently, in the last few months, switched to a hyzer flip, something that gets up through that gap at least straight. If it finishes to the left, that's okay. I can still chip over to the basket. But then throwing this heat, if I give it enough snap and get it through that gap, it will start to turn over towards the basket, setting up the easy 2. That's what I'm gonna go for here, hopefully. Flip up, nick the tree, sent me off to the right. Pretty standard. All right, so my first shot landed out here off the fairway. Set the camera up behind the basket, try to catch an upshot. I think what I'm gonna have to do here is a little modest forehand flick with the harp right through this little tiny hole that I have. See if we can't scoot up past these trees and at least give myself a really short little tap in. Here we go. All right, parked it just barely long of the basket. Almost hit one of the camera pole legs. Not bad though. We got through. It's always the concern. The thing you don't want in your mind is when you see the one little tiny twig or the little tree that you need to get by. You're like, oh, if I get by it, we'll be okay. And then all of a sudden, all right, we got the tap in par back there. Really not enjoying watching my camera get knocked over by the wind. It's 2 times so far, so I'm going to try to keep that to a minimum. This hole here, hole 16, we're going to A position. We got 304 feet, so it's another straight shot right down the middle. A lot of trees on both sides. The right side kind of opens up a little bit, the little bit further you go down. The left side, you can get plays through there, but it's very difficult. So I'm going to try again with the hyzer flip, using the heat, see if we can flip something up, push it straight. Sure did, push it straight into a tree. All right, so we're just barely tucked off the fairway here. I think I'm going to try to go for a pushing forehand. I've got a Justice in my hand, so I'm going to try to crank over on this thing, get it to push straight. So I'm kind of in a straddle position just to give myself as much distance off this tree as I can. And nicked another tree, sent me a little left. So looks like we're chipping over, looking at bogey. In hindsight, probably should have went with either Firebird or the Felon, something that would have tried to push a little straighter before it started to move at all. But we got us a long circle 2, maybe just barely fairway shot. I'd say it's probably still circle 2. See if we can save this, or if we're getting a tap in. What I don't want is a crazy angled landing on the ground that's going to give me a big roll away. And we've got a tap in. We'll take our 4, move on to 17. All right, hole 17, 366 feet. It's a par 4. You got to get over this gully and then up a couple wooden tiers, and then the basket sits up at the top tier of the cake back there. This is one of our more premier holes on the Coyote Hills disc golf course. If you guys have been following us at all and you know our ambassador Jonathan, he just got the eagle on this for the first time today with a forehand upshot from the bottom tier. I like to go stable FD, my C-line FD. Stable shot, I just try to throw it straight, hopefully avoid the majority of the trees on the way down the path, and land up on that kind of third tier, the big gap. Try to land up there and give myself a little chip up to the basket for the tap in birdie. And we released it terribly early. Hit a tree, might be in the gully, might be on a tier, we'll see. All right, so from the top of the fairway on my side, you can see I landed there pretty much on the second tier, but now it's going to be a scramble attempt to get up to that green so I can try to salvage the birdie. All right, I don't have much of a look. I actually just found my disc is laying over top of an old buried disc. What do we got here? Star Vulcan. I'll have to give this guy a text and see if we can get that back to him. Looks like I've got the tiniest little window underneath all these grabbing trees to be able to try to flick something through here. So I want to get something that I can hopefully flick on a little bit of an anhyzer. I'm going Hades, high-speed driver. It's pretty beat in. I'm going to see if I can get it to carry up towards the basket and bank left for me a little bit. And it just ended up being a stable straight shot. I have like a straddle out bid up to the basket, or I could do like a patent pending. I think I'm gonna go ahead with the straddle out and chip up to the basket. I got enough space here with nothing really in my way that's gonna be too much of a hazard on my right. Got to give it some oomph and get it there. Can't be too weak with it. Just missed the guardian tree to the last tier. I think that landed us pretty spot on. Yeah, parked it. All right. Tap in 4, save the par. hole 18 here. We got 363 par 3 downhill ever so gently. Bows to the left at the bottom, a little bit of a diagonal turn. I generally 99% of the time go with the backhand, try to throw it down through the slope, or down with the slope, try to get it to feed into the green. I've come up with birdie looks probably about 5 or 6 times here, but dangerously you come up short, you're getting into the left side woods. If I pull over on it a little too much, I yank it into these right side woods. So I'm thinking for smart golf, I'm gonna go forehand down the grade, try to land in the little opening that's down on the right. See if we can't try to chip us up an easy par. Tired of getting bogeys and double bogeys on this hole when I've birdied it so few times. So let's see what we can do. Going with the Felon, this might be a little too skippy. I'm gonna try to keep it low, nose down a little bit, try to keep something pushing down. Left to right, brakes, and hopefully bites. All right, let me show you guys something. That's a tee pad up there in the narrow corridor we came down. This is the landing spot I was hoping to be tucked in. Walking down, I couldn't find it, and I was like, where the heck is it? Only to find out it ended up being here. So it either ended up cutting back like a cutback roller or flipped and rolled funny, but we'll take that. Gives us a direct look over towards the basket for the easy 3 like I was talking about. All right, let's just be smart. Take our putter, give us a long Annie flex, something that hopefully is going to hit the ground on the same slant as the hillside so we don't get much of a roll away. There's a bit of a headwind, so I'm not going to gun it too hard. That was a little more right than I wanted, and naturally I hit that tree.
For the easy 3 like I was talking about.
Oh, that's the penalty I take. All right, let's see if we can't get this to go in. This is a long 35 footer. And hit pole underneath. All right, make sure you guys are doing your part. Trying to get discs back to people. There we go.